Welcome everybody to our weekly group call for the 16th of February. I have to check the date. Hope you guys have had a fantastic weekend. I've been certainly very busy on the back end, working on a few updates, which we'll cover on this call. But yeah, time just seems to fly by. So I often forget which month it is. Anyway, we've really had a successful week in the back end. So, with our results, a lot of members have been sharing our results. So we're going to cover some of that today. So we're going to look at our results from last week. Our game plan has done exceptionally well, which I'm very proud of. It's something that we really put a lot of effort into to, make sure that people have a pathway forward or, a means to be able to trade a plan instead of just, randomly trying to work things out. So I'm very excited that has been very productive. We've also had our launch last week of our Jumpstart program. Now, I've had such a tremendous response from this Jumpstart program. And for those who are not familiar with it, the Jumpstart program was really there to get people to make sure that they first understand NinjaTrader. So the training on NinjaTrader is out of this world exemplary to make sure that it is properly set up for the DTB system, and then going into the installation of the system and making sure that every single thing is properly correct or properly set up inside NinjaTrader. And then also started looking at some of the tools within the DTB system. So that has been, there's been such an amazing outreach from the guys who have done this program over the last week. And I think one of the guys made a comment, and I don't have it up, but he said something like, thank you for making trading more like a pathway instead of a maze. So that was pretty cool. So thank you for that. And that's what it is. We really trying to make the understanding, the learning of not only NinjaTrader and the DTB system, but actually implementing a proper structure in place. So our first week of the Jumpstart program, we covered obviously the setting up of the tools, a walkthrough of the DTB system. So, this is actually this is actually the list of what we actually put into the week one. So, for those who really want to understand NinjaTrader, who really want to understand trading effectively and consistently, then this program is absolutely fantastic, because not only is it very cost effective. I mean, members are paying $399 for a 3-month access to the whole DTB system, including this whole Jumpstart program. So, and it comes with a money back guarantee. I mean, I said this before on, previous calls where, there's so many companies out there selling tools, selling individual strategies. And I get emails all the time. Every single week, it's like, there's this new strategy. Buy this new strategy for $896 and it's worth $6,000 if you buy it within the next, 3 days and 22 minutes and 16 seconds, otherwise the special's gone. There's all these little bits and pieces everywhere. And every week there's a new magic bullet. Whereas the DTB system, what we are doing is we are working with one set of masterfully created tools and perfecting them and making them better and better and better. We're not coming up with new magic bullets all the time. So, that's the benefit of working with a proper system of tools where everything is designed to work together. It's an absolute no-brainer. And this Jumpstart program, is really fantastic for those who, first of all, might not understand NinjaTrader properly and might need further assistance in making sure everything is set up. But then even for advanced users who have never used the DTB system, I mean, we cover the DTB bars. And, in the video I said, so many people are used to trading with an inefficient bar type. They might be looking at 5-minute bars, 15-minute bars, 30-minute bars. But, those bars are not actually giving you proper price action analysis. So the DTB bars is really, a step up from that, where people can actually see guaranteed price levels, and they can see what price is actually doing and what it's likely to do next. So I go into good detail about that. And then we also go into some of the indicators. So I'm actually going through all the list of indicators within the DTB system and explaining them in good detail, so that everybody can really understand, what each of the tools do. So it's a fantastic program for people to jump into, especially if you're new to trading, even new to NinjaTrader, or you haven't been, consistent with your training. So I love this. This is a 4-week program, and the first week has just completed. Anybody, that we welcome to invite members to sign up this week to start with week 1. I mean, this is all ready for you guys. So the amazing outreach we've had from this, and the gratitude to people, finally having something where they can properly from absolute ground roots, work with a fantastic system. Cool. So that is regarding the Jumpstart. So if anybody has questions about that, they can reach out to me and just sign up on the website. I mean, it's that simple. All right. So what we're also going to be doing today is we're going to be looking at the game plan for the week ahead. So I spoke a little bit about our game plan. So we've got automated strategies that are set up already with templates to, that you just have to start and let them run. It's such, so fantastic. So we're going to be covering that. And then we're also going to cover some of the small little updates that have been made to the DTB system. Now, I trust all my audio is working properly. I have been checking. I mean, the stupid software I'm using, vMix, I obviously clicked something wrong and it stuffed up last week. But I'm monitoring the chats to make sure that, there's any questions. So any questions also, just pop them in the group calls chat, because that's where where members can actually communicate and, ask questions live during the call. So I'll just jump to our screenshot, our screen sharing. Okay, so this has been our signal chart. I'll just deactivate the camera too. And I finally got the green screen to work. Hey, how's that? Isn't that much better than having, so I had a good friend of mine actually help me set that up. So thank you to that, buddy. It looks pretty awesome. Look how clear it is. It's pretty cool. Anyway, let's jump into the results from last week, which we can bring up. So game plan, let's have a look at, I'm just going to find the game plan results wherever you were. Okay, there we go. So, all right, so the results are all shared in here. This is, again, a public Discord chat. So, thanks to the guys who've been sharing in there. We've had fantastic results. Not every single obviously template was made money during every single day, but we've had some really powerful trading days where we got in. So thanks for sharing over there. Great stuff there. So again, thank you guys for contributing to this group. I mean, it's just showing you a really, it's just really showing you guys, that you have, commitment to this community, which is really powerful. I'm looking at the sound. Yeah, I don't know what sounds 5x5 means. Maybe you can enlighten me. But it looks like it's working perfect. All right, what else do we have? Yeah, so just our results are shared in there. So, I see Alan has been sharing some great results. Thank you too for that. And, the results have been somewhere between 4,000 and 5,500 return for the week, using the game plan. So well done. Well done. That's awesome. So we're going to cover that game plan just now. But let's first look at what we've done inside the DTB system. So if I go to, look at this beautiful signal too from the signal charts with these breakout markers left behind, running in a direction, stopping here at, the high end or, the Fibonacci level. So fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to go to my control center. I'm just going to go to my blank workspace. I'm going to open up a new chart, and we're going to just open up, let's open up MNQ, that's fine. And it doesn't matter what size we actually open, because I'm just showing the strategy itself. Okay, actually I'll do a bit more than that. Let's go for like 3 days. Okay, so now if you go into the strategy list. Okay, excellent. Thanks, Mr. Lee. Very good. Yeah, I've got a good mic. Obviously, sometimes I don't place it exactly where it needs to be in front of my face. All right, magic. So with regards to our updates, we'll start with the baseline week trader, because the baseline week trader is one that we've been really focusing a lot on. So, it's one that is very, very popular amongst members. There's a lot of optimizations being done, strategy analyzer optimizations, all really, well worked with. So what I've done over here is I've just moved the text or the tick box to include the indicator into the chart. And obviously we've got the include trade history. So if you untick the include trade history, you get faster optimizations, but it doesn't give you the list of all the trades. It also gives you, it's like faster optimizations, and it produces the results, but it uses a lot less system resources. So it doesn't use a lot of NinjaTrader resources. So what we've done over here is the update specifically is we've gone and we've got a trailing stop. So if you look at the stops and targets, you'll see that whatever targets you put in place, they will stay in place. But, with regards to your stop ticks, you can put different values over here for your stop ticks. And whatever when those trades enter and you actually use this trailing stop, then those stops will obviously trail the price. And the benefit with having a trailing stop, as the only real benefit I see of having a trailing stop is that it gives you the ability to be able to move your stops. So before, when you have a strategy activated, you're not able to actually move your stops. So because the strategy was basically controlling the was controlling the exact positioning of those daily stops and targets. Let me just check something over here. I'm just loading up the strategy on a chart. So I just activated the strategy with default settings. Obviously, these are not, the best settings. But basically what will happen is as soon as a position actually enters, those stops that are going to be on the chart, you're actually going to physically be able to move them. And I guess, if you are seeing if you're looking at a separate chart, you're looking at a signal chart or something like that to determine, which direction of trades you want. So, very often you could be saying, I only want long trades, or I only want short trades, or, at this stage, I don't want the strategy to trade, so I'm going to pause it. And then you could obviously switch back to long and short. But, while you're doing this, and you say, for example, you're entering long and short trades, and you're currently in a position, but the position looks like, or the signal chart that you're referring to is looking like, this signal does not look like a good signal to be in. The trade does not look to be like it's likely to hit its profit target. So you know what? I'm going to move the stop a little bit closer. So, so you're basically limiting the loss if that position does turn around and confirm what the signal chart is telling you. So it's giving you the option to be able to, reduce your losses in real time, because you're able to adjust that stop on the chart. And then what will happen is if the price hits your stop, then the next signal that the strategy enters, it will act on that signal. Whereas, if you have like a far away stop and the position goes against you and you wait and it keeps going, other signals can be coming and going that you could be missing out on because, you've left that stop very far away and you're like waiting for the thing to play out. So sometimes, I'm saying, not every time, sometimes it does help to, bring your stops closer, especially if you are seeing that the position that you are currently in is not matching like a signal chart that's showing you something different, like maybe the trend has changed. So that's what we put in. That's why I put the stop or the trading stop. Now, I probably should have created a button over here to use trailing stop so that you can activate it and deactivate it based on entries. I might consider doing that. I'll just have to see how NinjaTrader can cope with that. Switching between, trading stops and, not using trading stops, especially with regards to this strategy and, limit orders and all that type of thing. So I have to do testing on that. But at the moment, you have that option to choose that within the strategy settings. Now, I've done multiple optimizations. So, if you go into your strategy analyzer, I've done multiple strategy optimizations using the trailing stop, as actually using it in optimizations. And I'll just bring up an optimization over here. Let me just see optimization and baseline week trader strategy. I'll see if I've got any loaded on here. No, I don't, because this is my VPS. Okay, so every optimization that I have done, like every single optimization, I have not found to have better results using a trailing stop than not using a trailing stop. So basically, every time we've used a trailing stop in optimizations, the results have not been as good as actually using the fixed stops and targets. I'm trying to find the bloody thing. Where's the box? Oh, yeah. So you welcome to do your own testing. And obviously it depends on what bar sizes you're using and that. But generally what happens is, I believe that that a trailing stop is probably one of the biggest cons you can have in trading. And a lot of people will push back against that. But, it's pretty obvious because, when you're looking at price on a chart, you're always going to see the price go up, a reversal, price go up, reversal, price go up, reversal. It happens all the time. So if you've got a trailing stop and you entering a position, say you're entering a position, to go long, and you've got a trading stop, very often they'll come out and take out your stop and then still continue to push the price ahead. Even on, a lot of people are looking at, they're using trailing stops on minute bars. What a con that is. You're entering positions, and then it takes you out, and then the price goes up, and then you're entering positions takes you out. So like I said, trading stops are the biggest con that exists. So, I don't want you guys to really use this as like your, your strategy for, reducing your, your trail. But just use it sparingly that, if you are in real-time trades, you can actually, just move your stops. So I put the trailing stop there so that people can move their stops. Every single where that you look, if you, on any chart, this is a 5-minute chart. This is the worst chart you can trade off. But most people trade off these charts. And, obviously you can't see any guaranteed price levels or, got wicks of all different sizes and thousands of different candlestick patterns and all that stuff that goes with it. It's very confusing for new traders. But you can imagine, entering a position, trail stop, entering a position, trail stop, position, trail stop. It's like you get screwed up so badly using a trail stop. But, people have asked for it in the strategy. So, use them as you go. But I would use them for the ability that they give to be able to move your stop while you are in an active position. Okay, so that is what that looks like. I'm just going to close off this chart. And let's have a look at our... Actually, you know what I want to do? I want to bring up a new chart very quickly again. And I want to bring up like a trending baseline. So I'm going to go to like a, actually let's start with a flat baseline, a 140 and 10. So this is what like a this is what a flat baseline looks like for the DTB bars. And you can see, you know, there's your guaranteed price levels. I just want to clear out this. It shouldn't be showing any text on the chart. So I'm just going to see if this actually resets that. Okay, NinjaTrader, you know. So to hide it away, you got to activate your chart trader and then deactivate your chart trader. Then it actually, geez, why is it still showing that crap on the side? I mean, I reset the chart. So activating your chart trader doesn't seem to help. It doesn't matter. I just try to get rid of that text. Anyway, we've got these guaranteed price levels. Now, what I wanted to show you is, you know, one of the strategies that I did some significant work on this week is the analytical strategy, and the analytical 1 and the analytical strategy 1 minis. Now, this is a strategy that you're going to use to determine price action. So I'm going to look at, actually, it's not this one. It's the one that's got the, just give me a second. I need to just find a specific setting in here. And it is the A and B settings with the tick delay. Yeah, it is this one. It's perfect. So what we have had for quite a while is a tick delay. So this is basically like a bar delay. Now, obviously, if you put, you know, 1, it's not going to be 1 bar. It's related to the actual size of the bar that you're using. So anything above, so if I had to put 20 in there as a tick delay, what will happen is that as soon as a 140 bar has closed, because that is like, it's any tick delay that's within the certain bar size. So like if I put in 140 over here, that's the accurate way of saying, you know, I want 1 bar to close before, you know, positions enter. So I'm just going to activate this very quickly on this chart. It's just a random chart that I've got loaded up. And I want to make sure all the signals are actually selected, which they are. Okay, activate, apply, and okay. Okay, so what this is basically doing is, like, here is the signal that the strategy is generating, but instead of entering on this line, it's got that delay to enter on the next bar. So you're going to see that all the entries are going to be when a bar has closed on a new baseline. And looking at this, you'll see there they are. They all are too. So the signal is generating, trades are entering. Signal is generating, trades are entering. So these are specifically going and targeting, you know, they're on the very next bar. Okay, now look how that looks. And if we go back into the strategy settings and we go into the tick delay and we make that 280. Okay, what this is going to do is, you see there's the signal, but it didn't enter on this bar, it entered on the following bar. So that is what the delay actually means. It actually helps you, you know, enter on specific bars. Now, why is this important? Because you can actually, what we're trying to establish here is, you know, is price action. So we're looking at, okay, what is price action doing? We're having a delay on signals. What is happening with the price, you know, during those, the signals? What is the price action on those signals? So if we go back into our data series, and we'll see how this actually works on a 10 140 bar. And I'll show you how, you know, how fantastic this is, because this is getting more into, like, you know, analyzing chart patterns based on, you know, what we're seeing on the chart. So what we're seeing over here is we're seeing a signal and then a delay for the actual entry of those signals. So we're trying to establish different chart patterns looking at the chart during different times. And this is just an open strategy trading 6:15 to 4, and it's not been optimized or anything like that. But, we're looking at like the signals generated and then the delay for the trade. Signal generated, delay for the trade. So going into the strategy settings, we can look at, we can look back at this. And I want to dedicate a whole call to this down the track because I'm touching the very, very surface of this at the moment. And, it does need to be a lot more delved into. So I'm using the second signal, third signal, and fourth signal over here. And I'm going to reactivate this. So what this is trying to do now is we're trying to determine a price action around specific levels. So at this type of thing, it's only taking like the second signal. So you'll see the price bouncing around the baseline and then taking the second signal with a delay. Now, again, this is not optimized to any bar size. It's just showing you that, this delay can actually come in to help and, confirm specific breakouts or confirm, specific areas of interest where the price is just bouncing around areas. Like I said, I want to cover this. I didn't do it much justice today, but, there's something really powerful about understanding chart patterns because we're trying to identify chart patterns between certain times. And I think if we just had to switch this over to like a 9 to a 11 a.m. template or 9 till 11 a.m., you're basically viewing specific times of the day where the price action is in a specific way. So if I just go over here and I go 9 a.m., 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and we want to make sure all trades are closed by 11:05 a.m. Another thing too is with all the strategies, the blackout periods have been really well fixed up. So for example, you can say, I want to trade between 9 and 11, but you know what? I don't want the crap that happens at 10 a.m. I don't want to deal with the huge news announcements at 10 a.m. So you know what? I want to stop trading at 9:50, and I only want the strategy to start looking at positions again from 10:05. So what you basically effectively done there is you've blocked out a certain time where the price could go absolute apeshit, which often it can do with these huge news announcements. And obviously NinjaTrader can't really keep up with the price. So you have a lot of bars jumping up and down and you have all these different inconsistent price levels. We want to try and avoid periods like that. So any of your strategies you can activate, choosing a specific trading hours that you want to use, and then saying, hey, I want to block out. I don't want any positions to enter during these times. And, make sure you exit any positions that are open, when that time starts. So a lovely feature put in there. Okay, so now we'll just look at this. So basically selecting very specific signals. So like this one here is the second, third, and fourth. And, probably, like I said, this is not doing it justice, but, I want to dedicate a whole session to this. And it might be a recorded video, actually, where I can go into the in-depth analysis of price action around these signals that are generated. Because these bars, they have their own patterns in them too, right? They have their own chart patterns. I mean, the true way to actually identify chart patterns or price action is looking at the price action. When you're looking at a minute bar, you can't see all the price action in that bar, whereas these bars are giving you the price action. It's actually telling you that, hey, between 8:30 and 9:30, that's an hour's time. Instead of looking at 4 15-minute bars, which gives you no price, it doesn't give you any history of price action. You're looking at this over the same period of time, but you've actually got guaranteed price levels within those, within that hour. So, that's just, one of the things that sets this completely apart from, looking at minute bars. And then, it just shows you the price action, the round signals. It's very, even if you're not trading this on an automated side, just loading up a chart with different bar sizes, doing optimizations, and then seeing how these signals actually plot on the chart, you're able to determine, areas where you can enter positions, even if it's manual trading. So again, we're going to cover that on another call, but I've just done some optimization. So if we go to our game plan for the week ahead, so I'm going to just exit this chart, exit this, and I'm going to go to workspace. I'm going to close this one also, indicator samples, because we want to have a clean workspace for the trading week ahead. And we'll look at our game plan while that's busy loading. So if we bring up our game plan document, you will see over here that, this is our game plan for the week ahead. So what we've done over here is we have set up, we've kept the same MNQ template. So you guys have really enjoyed this MNQ template from 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. It's only entering 2 or 3 trades a day, and it's just ticking on every single day. It's just making a little bit of money, and it's like $40, but it's like constant. So it's just a simple strategy we're running in the background. If the strategy does have a loss this week, we can actually just change it over. But it's just been ticking along at like 100% accuracy for ages now. Okay, so that's what this has been doing. And see, it doesn't have a history of very high trades. It's like had a 1 losing day, and then it's had we've basically experienced these 36, 36, 36, and it's just been every day. But what we've done with template 2, so template 2 I've actually adjusted. So we're using the baseline wick trader strategy on this, but what we've done is we've got a strategy that is still trading the 935 till 11, but it's got a higher return, shown on this chart. So that's our template for this week on MNQ. And that's the historical performance of that specific template. So it's also not a very high, it hasn't got very high values in here. But, if you can make anywhere between $100 and $300 on this chart, on average every day, that is, what else would you want, really? Seriously, what else would you want? It's an MNQ chart. So, we're not chasing millions over here. We're just trying to get something that's consistent and that can generate decent returns. And then what we've done over here is I've actually created a 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. NQ template using the AS1 mini strategy. So the strategy that we just looked at over here, there. Now this one over here, and we'll load it up on a chart, but this one over here is using a 10-140, and it's showing really good positive results over the period that it was optimized. So if you look at the results here, it's, again, it's not targeting huge amounts of revenue. We're trying to target $2,000 per day, and we're trying to, keep under a $1,500 drawdown. So that's what we're trying to do over there. So this is ideal for, if you have an account where, through one of these funded account programs where they give you $50,000 and they give you a 3,000 drawdown or whatever. This is the strategy to run on that. And it's during the quieter periods, we're 1 a.m. to 8 a.m., it's a lot quieter. The strategy is just going to nicely enter positions, without too much fanfare. Okay, and then what we've done is I've created a template also for the NQ on an 80-20 bars using the same strategy. And this one here is targeting a $2,000 take profit and a $1,500 drawdown. So it's also just, going for a small target with a reasonable drawdown. And, this has been shown to be very productive on the optimizations. And remember, this is a strategy that enters positions, on the baselines, and it's from there. So it's not trading back towards the baseline. It's actually trading from the signal. So, you can have entries. You can have entries on the same bar with this strategy because, and I'm just zooming in a little bit, because what's happening is the strategy is buying over here at the start of the bar, and it's got its target profits on the bar. And obviously if one is missing, it's going to be there. So you'll see that the targets, if the price has touched that level, then it's going to show a profit target, because it's actually buying at the start of the candle, not on the candle trading down. So all of these results are 100% accurate. And if you had to run playback on this very data, you will get the same results and the same trades. So an exceptionally brilliant, I mean, this has been quite fantastic. So I'm going to just load up like this one. So this is the 80-20 as an example. So we're going to go to the strategies, Analytical Strategy 1 minis, which is exactly, you know, what's on your game plan document, which tells you how to set this up. And I'm going to enable this, apply, and OK. And there we go. So, you know, this is basically identified a little bit more into what we covered a few minutes ago, which is identifying price action of the bars. So this is just an optimized version of price action trading those bars. So we're looking at, you know, those entries, and you'll see there's a tick delay on here, you see. So I've got 20 as a tick delay, which means that when a signal generates, it's not going to act immediately on that bar. It's going to only act on the following bar. So that's what this tick delay is doing, is it's allowing, and I've got 20 there, but anything over 80, you know, anything between 20 and 80 is going to work over here. It's going to have the same result, because the bar when it breaks is going to be an 80 bar. So, you know, I haven't made this a specific bar delay, because the tick delay is a lot more efficient, especially if you are using different size bars. The tick delay does actually come into effect, which is extremely brilliant. But, you know, you can just use that at the moment how it is on a 20 tick delay, and it's gonna avoid the first bar. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get a confirmation of a breakout. So generally what that means is that when we get a signal, we first want to have a bar of confirmation to prove that that signal was actually, you know, successful, or that signal has got legs to it. So same type of thing over here is we got the signal over here to sell. We've got the signal over here to sell, but instead of entering on this bar, it's actually entered on the following bar to confirm that breakout. Because often you could get a signal to sell, like say, for example, you know, you could get a signal to sell, but then the price could actually reverse. So, you know, this is just like a confirmation of a breakout to enter a position. So all of these trades that you're seeing over here, are using that approach. It's like waiting for a bar delay, and it's entering the position with its stops and targets. And you'll see they got different stops and targets. So you'll see the first trade has got a 20 target, the second one's got a 30, the third one's got a 40, and the fourth trade, Jesus, I can't count 1 to 4. The fourth trade's got 100 target. So you'll see that, you know, the entries of this, if we log in, you see there's the smaller targets, but then the fourth one is allowed to run a little bit. So the fourth one's got an equal stop and a target. So that, you know, that is pretty cool. Now I know you're seeing, you know, you're seeing a target here of 20 with a stop of 160, but that's not actually always how the strategy works, because I'll show you in a moment if I can find some entries over here, and that is, if that signal changes on that candle, you're going to have a signal swap on that baseline. So you're not going to run into that huge stop unless something terribly goes wrong. But generally, if there's a change in signal, you're going to have, you know, those positions exit before they actually hit their stops. And I'm trying to find where that happens on this optimized thing over here. No, and then there's our blackout. You see, we've got the exit at blackout. So this is the time where we say we don't want to trade, right? So I've got blackout periods in this strategy. So if you go to your strategy settings and you look at the actual entry times, you've got the strategy is saying, I'm not going to trade between 820 and 840 because I don't want to deal with non-farm payrolls or any of the bullshit that they throw out at that time where the price goes apeshit. Okay. I don't want to trade that time. It's like, I'm not interested in being John Wayne and being in the Wild West. It's like, I'm out of there. Right. So the strategy is going to start trading at 7. It's going to end at 11. But hey, I'm not going to trade between 820 and 840. I'm also not going to trade the open. I'm not going to trade 925 to 935. It's like, leave John Wayne session to the John Waynes and the manipulators. And also, you know what? I'm not going to trade the 10 a.m. because often at 10 a.m. there's huge news announcements coming out. It's like, I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to have to deal with price jumping so far beyond levels that it actually messes up the trades, and the trades are not being filled properly or the stops not being filled because the price jumped it. I mean, I don't want to partake in that crap. So we've basically blocked out those periods of time. So that's why we've got 3 periods in there, and it's fantastic. I mean, it's such a great approach to do that. And often if you're looking at those blackout periods, it's not so evident on this chart, and maybe it will be. I'll just go back a little bit. I'll just see if I can find, and this is a fairly larger chart, but generally I'm going to try to just look at those. Like this is a blackout period, yeah. Like look at how the bars formed over here. There was so much happening at 10 that the price just completely jumped all over the place. So if you had stops and targets, you're probably going to have major order errors around 10 o'clock, because that's what will happen when the price when NinjaTrader cannot keep up with the price accurately. I mean, that's basically what happens during times where there are huge news announcements. I mean, look at this. This is like the 6 p.m. open. I mean, the market, this is the beginning of the market. There's a huge stuff up over here as the market opens. I mean, you don't want to be trading this, right? Because it's not, this is not normal, right? You cannot trade this. This is all within 1 minute. So often the 10 a.m. or the 8:30 can have the exact same effect. And the same thing over there. Look, you had bars that are completely out of whack. That's not how they actually plotted at all. I mean, it's not showing us a true representation of the price. I mean, look over here. Look at this time over here. Okay, this is 2 p.m., but similar type of thing. Huge news would have came out, and these bars are completely out of whack because the proper pricing was not actually received. I mean, this is like data manipulation where we're not actually getting the proper price received, from the system. So, that's why we have those blackout periods, because there are definitely times of the day where things are completely out of whack and you just do not want to be partaking in that. There's no reason to partake in that. Okay, so looking at this, strategy performance, and you go real time and historical, you look at the results, you go analysis, and you look at this. And what you do is you just make sure that your game plan document is matching. So you bring up your game plan document, and, I've provided the screenshots there. This is the chart. This is the screenshot. Does that match? Does that screenshot match the results here? Yes. Okay, cool. So now that we know that the results are matching, we got the strategy can be there, and just make sure you press the start button. So that's going to trade between, 7 and what is the time? 7 and 11, right? The next one over here on the game plan, which is you're focusing still on the AS1 strategy. That's the next template that we got there, which is exactly the one in the game plan. So it's template number 3, which is trading on a 10-140. Now, I see I put 26th of February. I don't know why I did that. It's a bit dumb, but it doesn't matter what it's actually called. As long as whatever the template is called on the, whatever the template is called over here, okay. See, I'm a future thinker. That's why I've got a future date over there. I don't know. I think in advance. But anyway, whatever the template name is there, just make sure it's the same template name as you are using on your, on your strategy. So exact same thing over here. We've got a Oh, okay. So what I've done over here, you'll see that this looks slightly different. What I've done over here is I slightly adjusted the time, the end time. So I did that just on my side, but I'm actually going to go back to how the template is actually showing it. So looking at this, I'm going to go template, and I'm going to go load. I'm going to go load template number 3, load, and I'm just going to make sure that those times are right, which it is 1 to 8 to 8:05. So you're noticing that this template slightly goes onto the same time as the template number 4. So they slightly overlap. Template number 3 and template number 4 slightly overlaps. So, just be mindful of that if you're running them on the same account. So if you're running them on the same account, just come in at 7 a.m. and click pause on the strategy to make sure that this strategy is not entering position so that this one can continue. But ideally, what I've done is I've created the opportunity over here for you guys to trade on 2 different accounts. So if you've got 2 different funded account programs or whatever you're dealing with, and you've got their $50,000 accounts, use the one strategy on the one account and the other strategy on the other account. So then you've got 2, and then you can change and chop them during the week. So you can definitely trade this on one trading account, but just make sure when you come in and pause the strategy. I'm actually going to let mine completely overlap, and I'm going to see what happens around where the second strategy starts trading and the first one is still in positions or whatever. I'm going to see what happens over there. I think it's going to be a seamless overlap. So we'll just evaluate that as we go. Okay, and then obviously you can just activate the strategies on these charts, but please make sure that you've actually read the game plan document, because we want to make sure that what you're doing on the charts is matching. And then at the end of it, we've got a screenshot here saying, hey, once you've loaded your game plan, just take a look at this and make sure you've got these strategies loaded, that your charts look like this. And when that is the case, you are all set. So yeah, that's basically our call for the week. I think we covered a decent amount of things, and I believe we're going to have a very successful week ahead with the game plan, or at least a consistent week with the game plan. So continually posting your results. And, for the new members in the Jumpstart program, an exciting week ahead. We're going to continue looking at the indicators. We're going to continue looking at the tools within the DTB system, and, continually go from step to step to step to a level of understanding where you can actually be extremely consistent with trading on NinjaTrader using the DTB system. And as I said before, once you understand the DTB system, once you understand what you have over here, there is no looking back. And, you've basically created a life of freedom for yourself after that, because you're just on a different level to everybody else. Wonderful. Thank you, guys. Have a fantastic week. And I'm glad this call went through without any hitches. Last week, we had an issue with the freaking audio, but it seems to be fine this week. So thank you guys so much for jumping on the call. And if you're not using the DTB system, guys, you are at a serious disadvantage. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, because only the real diehards and the real committed individuals are watching to this point in the video. So thank you. But for anybody interested who's watching, it's like, this system is beyond exceptional. We have tools and processes here that do not exist in the world of trading. So come to the side of winners and champions, which is exactly what we are over here. Thank you, guys, and cheers.